Hey guys, and welcome back for another guide. Today we're going to be doing the not so secret jumping puzzle for a mastery point. Not only that, but I'll also show you the dive spot location that if you get all 38 will get you yet another mastery point. While I've put this together to look like a straight run, this took many attempts, and you should expect to spend some time here if you actually want to get this done. With that in mind, I'll try to give you any tips I can and try to minimize your time spent here so that you can get on to more fun activities. Also, if you have access to a Daredevil, run this with that class. I'll explain as the video goes on, but I found that the Daredevil can make this a lot easier. Alright, so enough about that, let's get on to the jumping puzzle itself. You'll need to head to the Broad Hollow waypoint in Gandaren Fields, and head south until you hit some mountains. Just go ahead and follow that mountain range along until it starts to open up a bit. You'll need to jump up a few rocks to get to this grassy area where it actually starts, but it's not hard. Here you'll encounter your first jump pad. These things activate every few seconds and can be kind of complicated to get used to. Jump onto the upper ledge and head over to the little spinning cog. I don't know what to call these things. Standing on it when this activates will make you dash forward, and you can use this to get across the gap. On the next ledge, use the jump pad to climb up just a bit higher. And despite how it looks, you can actually walk straight through the wall to continue the jumping puzzle. Again, here it looks like it dead ends, but you can drop down to those spinning cogs. While standing on a cog, the direction your character is facing will determine the direction you move in. The goal here is to aim for either the left or the right of the next cog. If you happen to fall, which you probably will, just head back towards where you started and you'll find a jump pad that'll help you get back up. Once you do make it across, wait for the cog to stop spinning before standing on it and aim for the next ledge. That is, unless you have a Daredevil, use the skill 5 to jump across both of these easy peasy. On this ledge there'll be another invisible wall, so you can just head through there. And you'll have to make it through a series of pipes, some of which that spew out steam that will hurt you and knock you down, but isn't so much of a threat. Ahead you're going to see a spinning cog, and you can jump up on some rocks to get on that ledge, and dash across to the next ledge. From here, just jump onto the ledge that's slightly higher than you are now, get on the next spinning cog, and go directly forward. It looks like there's nothing there, but it is yet another invisible wall. Ahead we have some more steam pipes that, again, aren't really much of a threat, but can be annoying, and you'll need to drop down onto a small pipe. The enemies on the right hand side can be dealt with or left alone, that's entirely up to you. Either way, once you're done with them, head down to the next level. On the right hand side you'll see a bunch more Aether Blade, but you can actually ignore them for this part. Use the rocks to climb on top of a large pipe and head all the way to the left hand side of that pipe. Use the rocks to climb up a bit higher so you can get on top of the smaller pipes and just start jumping from pipe to pipe until you make it all the way across. Unless you have a Daredevil, in which case you can again use skill 5 to skip several pipes at a time, easily clearing this very annoying section. Once on the other side of the pipes, there'll be a steam vent that you just need to wait for it to not be doing its thing to jump over, head to the back corner of the room, and then up onto the airship. Here you're going to see a bunch of Aether Blade that again you can deal with or not deal with, it's up to you. I usually kill them just so they don't slow me down at any point during the rest of the jumping puzzle. On the other side of the airship, if you look over the edge, you'll see a small circular platform you can jump down onto. This platform also spews steam, and below that there's a small circular peg in a line of small circular pegs that you need to jump across. Or yet again, if you have a Daredevil, you can just cheese this part with your staff 5. While making these jumps, be aware of the Aether Blade enemies at the base level. If they hit you, it'll put you into combat, making it much harder to make these jumps. If you do happen to fall down at this part, you'll need to head over to a jump pad, land on a small platform, and it'll put you right back at that super fun part where you have to jump across all those pipes. Once you make it all the way across, jump onto the large pipe, and you'll see an Aether Blade enemy on a platform ahead of you. always deal with him first because he can really mess up your jumps if you don't. Once he's been dealt with, head back over to the red pipe and you'll notice a series of spiky wing parts. You'll need to jump on the one directly parallel to the pipe. This jump is very frustrating. That is, unless you have a Daredevil, in which case you can bypass jumping on that wing altogether. If you do happen to fall down here, you're going to fall into some water, there'll be a jump pad, and you're basically just going to jump on everything you can to climb yourself out of that hole. Once on the wing, go ahead and jump over to the Mario looking pipe right next to it. Once atop the large pipe, there'll be another jump pad. Use this to get back onto the wing, only higher than you were the first time. From here, it's a matter of using jump pads to get on very thin rails. I recommend bouncing at least once so you can see where you're headed before you actually make the jump. And onto the final rail, where you can jump onto a large pipe. Here there are a line of steam traps, but you can kind of just run through these regardless of whether or not they're going or not. I've never been knocked off, and they barely do any damage. Beyond the little steam traps, you'll see another launch pad. Here you're trying to get onto a platform connected to the large circular structure next to you. From here you'll see the beginning of a spiral staircase of sorts. These platforms are thin and spaced out, but incrementally go up a little bit higher. A few of these have black cylindrical objects on them. You only need to use these for the last two to make it to the next platform. Oh, but guess what you can do with a Daredevil? Staff 5 all the way up. At the very top, you're going to see another spinning cog. You're going to want to aim for about here. Once you've made it across, just get on top of the pipes you just made it to, and start jumping across pipes to make it over to the top of the airship. At this spot before the airship, you need to make sure you want to complete the jumping puzzle or continue going for the diving goggles. Once you pick one, you'll have to do the puzzle again to get the other. For now, we're going to focus on completing it, and then I'll show you how you can get the diving goggles. Whether or not you attack the Aether Blade on top of the airship is completely up to you. I tend to do it for the off chance that they might knock me off and mess me up at the very end. Head over to the right hand side of the airship and you'll see a platform with a chest. And that is the end of the not so secret jumping puzzle. Unfortunately, we want those diving goggles as well, so back at those pipes I mentioned earlier, follow the second pipe until it leads into the side of the mountain, jump onto the ledge, and then onto another ledge, where you can then reach more spinning cogs. The goal here is to aim yourself for one of the side rails so that you don't fly off, but I used my Daredevil trick for this entire part after getting nice and fed up, falling over and over and over again. I just staffed 5'd myself over to the final platform, which has a jump pad on it, and here more than anywhere else, I want you to do a test jump before making a jump no matter how confident you are. You'll be working your way up several platforms, all of which have more jump pads on them to get to the next one. Slowly and carefully make your way up these jump pads until you make it to the final one that has a pair of diving goggles. Unlike all of the previous jumps you've made, this one doesn't require you to go onto the platform, rather a small pipe extends with a small platform on it and you're aiming for that. Make this jump and you can climb onto the platform with the diving goggles. As for the jump itself, be sure to put the diving goggles on and stand right where I'm standing. For this to work, don't actually jump, rather just nudge your character forward off the edge as I've done, and you'll fall all the way down to get that diving goggle location. And that, guys, is it. If you did everything along with me, or you put in the time and tried to do this yourself, you now never have to come here again for any reason other than to punish yourself, I guess? I don't know. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the guide. I hope this helped anyone out there that might have been struggling. Staff on Daredevil makes this a lot easier. I might even recommend purchasing some revive orbs from the gem store. Basically, anything you can do to minimize the amount of times you're going to have to start all over again. If you die at all, you have to start back at the Broad Hollow waypoint and make your way all the way through all over again. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, I hope somebody found this helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.